The desert sun was sinking slowly behind the jagged cliffs, casting long shadows across the frontier town of Red Rock. Dust swirled in the wind, carrying the faint scent of sage and distant rain. Jake McAllister rode into town, his horse's hooves clattering against the wooden boardwalks. It had been 10 years since he last walked these streets, yet something had drawn him back, an invisible thread tugging at memories he had buried deep. He had thought he had left the past behind, but as he dismounted and glanced around, he realized that some ghosts never truly leave. Near the water trough, a figure caught his eye, a young woman, her dark hair braided with feathers, standing in the fading sunlight. For a heartbeat, Jake could hardly believe what he saw. Her eyes were piercing, fierce, and impossibly familiar. A shiver ran down his spine as the memories of a long-lost childhood flooded him, chasing her along the banks of Silver Creek, sharing secrets under the summer sun, and the laughter that had once filled his heart with a warmth he hadn't felt since. "You don't remember me, Cowboy?" she said, stepping closer, her voice both soft and commanding. "I'm the girl you loved as a child." Jake froze, his hand instinctively going to the brim of his hat. He remembered the girl who had dared him to race wild horses, who had laughed at his clumsy bravado, who had once held his heart so completely. I thought I had forgotten," he said finally, his voice rough but trembling. "But I see now. I never could." A small smile tugged at her lips. "I waited, Jake. Even when you left, I never forgot. And now you're here." Her presence was magnetic, pulling at a part of him he had tried to ignore, a part that still remembered the boy and girl who had once dreamed of endless skies together. The wind swept through the town, lifting strands of her hair as she stepped closer. "There are things you need to know," she said, her voice low but firm. "Secrets about the town, about our past, and about the reason fate brought us back together." Jake's heart raced. Danger and mystery lurked beneath her words, but he could no longer hesitate. The past had returned with her, carrying a fire that refused to be ignored. He could see the intensity in her eyes, the same spark that had made his childhood days unforgettable, now transformed into a fierce, grown woman's determination. "What do I need to do?" he asked, his voice steady now, though his pulse thundered in his ears. She reached out, brushing her hand against his in a gesture that was tender yet electrifying. "You need to trust me," she said, "and you need to face what we left behind. Because it's not just memories that wait in Red Rock. Shadows linger, Jake, and there are people who won't forgive the past." Jake swallowed hard, the weight of her words settling into his chest. He could feel the pull of destiny, the undeniable truth that their reunion was more than coincidence. It was a reckoning, he nodded. "Then we face it together," he said. The sky darkened, stars beginning to glitter as the desert night embraced the town. Shadows stretched across the streets like silent watchers. But Jake and Nayeli moved forward side by side, hearts pounding with the thrill of reunion and the fear of what awaited them. Every step carried them closer to danger, closer to secrets long hidden, and closer to the love that had survived years of absence and hardship. As they reached the edge of town, a distant howl echoed through the canyon, and Jake felt the rush of adrenaline he had known as a boy, now sharpened by the man he had become. Nayeli looked at him, her gaze unwavering, and he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The past had returned to test them, but it had also given them a chance to reclaim what was once theirs, one that neither time nor distance could break. And in the quiet of the desert night, with the wind carrying whispers of the unknown, Jake realized that this reunion was only the beginning of a story that would be remembered, feared, and cherished for years to come. The girl he loved as a child was no longer a memory. She was his present, his challenge, and perhaps his destiny.